Tosca Santoso has dedicated his life to promoting free and independent media in Indonesia. He took a brave stand against government censorship during the Suharto dictatorship, creating the country's first independent journalists association. It cost him his job as a reporter.
The Minister of Information sending message to my chief editor that I cannot work at that magazine. So I was fired.
He went to work publishing an underground magazine, forced to live underground himself while he delivered the country's only reliable source of news. When the regime fell, Santoso turned to the airwaves. In 1999, he launched a small radio news network with 6 other journalists. He called it KBR 68H, incorporating the address of its headquarters in Jakarta. KBR 68H is Indonesia's only independent national radio news agency. Today, 120 staffers and 100 correspondents broadcast 8 hours of news programs to 22 million listeners. Their reporting can be heard on more than 730 radio stations across Indonesia, 9 other Asian countries, and Australia. The largest Muslim country in the world, Indonesia spans more than 17,500 islands. Using satellite technology, Santoso overcame the geographic challenge to open a dialogue on society and politics for the first time in decades. Hosts moderate debates on the hot topics of the day. He set up the first toll-free phone lines, encouraging listeners to call in or text their concerns. KBR 68H now reaches the most isolated places. Opening a radio station in the remote central highlands of Papua meant first engineering a way to get electricity to the studio. Santoso celebrated the launch of Radio Pikonane with 5,000 villagers, some of whom walked for days to witness the station go on the air. Repeated floods put Santoso in tune with the environmental concerns of the big city. In 2008, he rebranded the Jakarta station Green Radio to explore deforestation, pollution, and renewable energy.
We also use this station as a way to encourage our listeners, make a betterment for the environmental that they live.
The programs of KBR 68H aren't always welcomed in a society where Muslim extremists are trying to expand their influence. Fundamentalists surrounded the building and forced the station to stop a religious tolerance program. Santoso stood up to the group and convinced the extremists to express their views on the radio show. In 2005, a series of powerful earthquakes and a tsunami killed more than 130,000 people. Santoso immediately understood the importance of bringing news to the survivors. He arrived in Banda Aceh with the first wave of volunteers and the equipment to get Radio Prima back on the air.
So radio become a medium to find families, to make connection again with families.
The reports on KBR 68H also urged listeners to donate money for much-needed wells. The network raised enough to install 80 of them. While Santoso's pioneering radio strategies are now being emulated in Russia, Nepal, and Pakistan, he's starting to bring quality news programs to Indonesian television.
We provide opportunity for the people to exchange their ideas, give solution to the common problem. That's something that's very needed by our society.
Tosca Santoso continues to explore ways to reach more listeners and viewers. So from the crowded streets of Jakarta to the most remote island village, the people of Indonesia know what's happening and can make their voices heard.